When you're starting out in cybersecurity, everyone gives you the same advice. Learn the fundamentals, start working on hands-on practice in lab, and get a lot of certifications. But if I was starting in cybersecurity at 21, there are some things that I would do differently and some things that I would really focus on. Hi everyone, my name is Meera Thamboli. I work in cybersecurity in the UK and I make lots of videos which help beginners kickstart their cybersecurity journeys. So if this is your first time coming to my channel, don't forget to check out some of the other videos and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This video is going to be slightly different because I'm not going to give you the usual advice of learning operating systems, computer networks, the fundamentals, getting certifications. Instead, I'm going to talk about the top 3 things that I would love to focus on if I was starting my cybersecurity career from scratch at the age of 21. These are the things that beginners are often not told, or even if they are told, they miss out on them and ignore them because they think this is not that important. We all know that there is a huge cybersecurity gap in the market and there are so many cybersecurity jobs, but at the same time, freshers are not able to get these jobs because of the mismatch in the skills of the freshers. Every cybersecurity fresher who's trying to break into the industry is doing the same stuff. They are getting the same sort of certifications, they are doing similar level of labs, and they are also learning the same fundamentals and concepts. So what is it that you can do differently that will make you stand apart from the other beginners? These are the top 3 things that I would have done when I was starting my cybersecurity journey from scratch today. Let's dive straight into them. Number 1, I would build a portfolio of all the work that I'm doing. As a beginner, I was doing a lot of different things, such as working on different labs, setting up my own labs, also writing cybersecurity blogs, trying to learn a lot of different concepts and also get online certifications. But all of this was not mentioned in one place and I didn't have the portfolio having all of my things. But I feel it is the need of the hour. If I were to start my cybersecurity journey from scratch today, and if I was to tell something to the 21-year-old me, this is the advice I would have given myself first, to start building a portfolio of all the work. So what does portfolio of work even mean? I'll give you a simple example. Let's say you are to hire a photographer for an event. What's the first thing you would ask the photographer? Yes, you would ask their skills and the budget and the timing they can work for, but you would ask them to show their previous work. You would ask them, please show me an album or show me the other pictures you've taken or similar events you've done before. So similarly, you need to create a portfolio of all the great things that you are doing. Just stating the different labs and the different work you're doing on your CV is not enough anymore. Instead, you should maintain a portfolio of all the work you're doing. A portfolio can be as simple as creating a free WordPress website, or it can be as simple as making your own Medium page, or it can even be a GitHub account. So all it means is to have a repository or a place where you're putting all of the great work you're doing. So it should have stuff like all the labs you have done, what you did in the lab, what tools you have used in those labs, what did you actually solve, what did you learn, the skills you get, how long you took to complete that lab, all the amazing things you're doing in a portfolio, so that every time a recruiter messages you or asks you, or when you want to approach a recruiter, you can actually send your CV but also a link of your portfolio. This makes a huge impact because even if there would be some overlap or repetition between your CV and your portfolio, showing or giving a portfolio to a recruiter or anyone actually creates a very good first impression and shows that you're so serious about your work and you're going beyond your usual creating a CV and actually making a portfolio to demonstrate all the amazing work you're doing. Also, in a CV, you have to be very limited. You cannot write long descriptions and you cannot put screenshots of the work you've actually done. Whereas in your portfolio, you can actually take screenshots of the lab or the work you've done and you can actually showcase it and create a greater impact. A quick side thought. Back when I started in cyber, I wasted hours trying to fix tiny resume errors, juggling PDF files. Here's the truth. Resume mistakes are real. Messy formatting, tiny fonts, walls of text, generic bullet points, and even sending the wrong file type sometimes. That's why Wondershare PDF element comes in. I use it all the time for job hunting process. It lets you edit PDFs instantly, no reformatting headaches. You can fix spacing, update text, or correct typos in just seconds. You also get professional templates, so you can build a clean resume or cover letter without staring at a blank page. And the best part is the AI assistant. You can paste a job description and get tailored suggestions to improve your resume. On top of that, you can combine your resume, cover letter, and portfolio into one clean PDF, batch rename files, or compress them to stay organized. There's even AI-powered interview prep. You can generate role-specific questions and run mock interviews right inside the app. It's basically like having a career coach just in your pocket. And honestly, it doesn't stop at resumes. PDF Element Fundament is not just a resume tool, it's a full productivity tool for both study and work. You can use it to read, annotate study materials, highlight key points, and take notes directly on PDFs. If you're dealing with scanned documents, OCR turns them into editable text instantly. Need help understanding something? You can use AI to summarize long documents, explain difficult content, or even translate sections when you're working with different languages. So whether you're applying for jobs, studying, or managing work documents, everything stays in one place. Simple, fast, and organized. If you want to try it yourself, check out the link in my description. You can get a discounted price right there. Moving on to the second thing, attending cybersecurity conferences and events. This is the second biggest advice I would give my 21-year self if I were to get into cybersecurity today. This is such an impactful and such an important thing that beginners are not made much aware about. As a beginner, I was completely focused into just learning all of the technical stuff. So I felt if I spend 5 hours doing a lab, that's it. I'm getting one step closer to a job. And yes, that's very important. It is important to learn your technical skills and learn all of those fundamentals. But what you should also focus on, attending cybersecurity conferences and events. This is very, very important. Cybersecurity is a very technical domain, but also it is a completely community-driven event. The more events you attend, the more people you get to meet. The more people you get to meet, the more you can tell about the amazing work you're doing and your capabilities and skills. The more you can showcase and gain visibility for yourself and your skills, the more likely it is that you can get a referral or an internship or job opportunity in the industry. So this is very, very important. I have always encouraged this and say this again and again, that make sure you're not just behind closed doors at your own home, just doing lab after lab and certification after certification, but make sure you get out, attend some of these events happening in your cities. There are multiple ways you can actually find out about these conferences and events. There's a website called InfoSec Conferences. Also, you can follow LinkedIn pages and people around your city and your country who go to such events and they host such events. Going to these kind of events really boost you a lot, not just because of the referrals and the visibility and all of the networking I spoke about, but also if you actually sign up to volunteer for such events, it will be an even bigger benefit because you get to know the organizers of these events. And at most instances, the organizers of these events are people working in big positions in the cybersecurity space. They are senior managers, directors, CISOs, and you get to literally work with them in the capacity of a volunteer. And with this, you can start building a personal connection. So my suggestion is look up for some of these websites or events around your city or your state and start attending these. Initially, just go as an attendee. After a few days, sign up to become a volunteer and help them organize those events. That way, you can find out and get to know the people on the inside, and that really helps beyond just doing the technical stuff. The third thing that I would do if I was breaking into cybersecurity today is I would be much more active on LinkedIn. I've already created many videos around this topic about how you can actually set up your LinkedIn profile, how you can use LinkedIn for your job search in cybersecurity, and I want to reiterate this point again. LinkedIn is such an important tool when it comes to job search process. I do one-on-one mentoring with many beginners who are trying to break into cybersecurity, and one common theme that I see with all of them is that everyone is just trying so hard to just develop their technical skills and concepts, and they spend almost no time in the actual process of applying and getting better at job applications. No recruiter or employer or company is going to find out about your skills if you don't show them or you don't put yourself out there. Just going on random job portals and applying for jobs and then forgetting it is only going to lead to rejections, and it's going to be a very long and hard process to actually get shortlisted. The easy path in is knowing more people, talking to them, building your connections, and trying to get referrals. I cannot reiterate this enough, but LinkedIn is such a powerful tool. When I was starting out, I thought LinkedIn is just like a social media platform. I would just randomly scroll and just like on few posts or maybe comment a congratulations or a thank you on some posts. But only with time spent in the industry, I've come to understand how important LinkedIn is. You should treat it more than just another social media platform or more than just a professional platform. You can share about your career progress, the updates, the things you're learning. In fact, a simple example, in this video so far, we have spoken about 3 different things. One was building a portfolio, the second was attending conferences and cybersecurity events. And now the third one is being more active on LinkedIn. It all actually just ties up with one another. Once you create a portfolio with all the amazing work you have done, you can actually go to these conferences and present it to people, talk to people about it, share the link of your portfolio. After that, you can actually come to LinkedIn, share your portfolio, and not just that, but also share about which conferences you attended, whom you met, tag those amazing people, connect with them on LinkedIn, start having conversations. So if you're starting to notice a pattern in this video and my advices, you would understand that everything is so tied with each other and everything revolves around visibility, putting yourself out there and being active in the community. This is so important. I can't speak about it enough. All of the advice I've shared in this video is literally what I would have advised my younger self, and I would advise any younger sibling or anyone watching this video. This is all genuine stuff that I really wish I knew when I was starting out. So I would not just spend time learning the technical stuff and doing lab after lab, but I would actually also spend time showcasing this enough, and things would have been much more easier for me. I'm not saying that if you do all these things and you don't spend time on technical stuff, you will still land a job. Because let's say you don't do any of the technical stuff and you don't know any skills or concepts, and you are able to still crack an interview with all the connections you've made. Even then, when you actually go to the interview, you won't be able to answer any questions, right? So both these things go hand in hand. Yes, you should have all the skills and the knowledge, but also you should put yourself out there and try to get those referrals. If you do just one and not the other, there's going to be an imbalance and you're going to struggle to get entry-level jobs as freshers in cybersecurity. Please comment down and let me know which tip did you find the most helpful and you're going to start implementing right from today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope this helped you. Don't forget to check out some of the other videos on my channel. Thank you and see you next time.